Good day, fellow cinema nerds and movie geeks of the internet. You're watching Deano Reviews. I apologise, if that I got all this blinding light behind me. Well, not that blinding, in all honesty. Still in the afternoon. And by the way, in the next two reviews, I'm going to be wearing the same clothes. Well, probably at some point, I would probably just be lazy after reviewing the second one, because I recently seen 3 movies. So basically, even though I don't need to, even though it doesn't matter whatsoever, it's not going to, gain anything, no benefit towards me. I just feel like might as well make a 20-minute rambling about each of the 3 movies that I saw recently. Because why not? I mean, just will, and yeah. Carry on anyway. Recently, I have seen Hell or High Water. It's mirrored, not even bother, it's behind me. Sausage Party and Pete's Dragon. In fact, I saw Pete's Dragon at 11:50 today, and apparently that's the last showing. But I'll go deeper detail when I actually get to it. So yes, first one is this one, and yes. I'll probably, after reviewing Sausage Pie, I'll probably just be lazy and just get back in my pyjamas or review Pete's Dragon another time, because that's the movie mostly in my recent memory. But this movie I saw about 4 or so days ago on Tuesday, I believe, and I saw an unlimited screening. That means they showed the movie a couple days, or 2 days earlier than it will be released in cinema. So I saw it a day or 2 early. I believe it's out in cinemas now. So I could have took advantage of that, but who really cares? So I'm going to talk about it now. So here we go. Some atmospheric wallpaper there. Yeah. So Hell or High Water. Before seeing the movie, no notes by the way. Before I could have, but it's sunk in my brain by now. So there you go. Before seeing the movie, I really knew nothing about it. I think I didn't see the trailer. I saw a poster of it because they were advertising the screening, and I recognised that Chris Pine was in it and Jeff Bridges. I didn't know who that person was. Wait, is that? Yeah, that's the guy I don't know. And I can't really think of his memory right now. I can't think of it. I'm sure I recognise it from somewhere, but I can't think of it as of right now. But anywho, I didn't know anything about it. So I just knew it was a western. I thought it was just going to be like another western. And when it comes to westerns, I've only seen, I like to say I'm a film fanatic, but I haven't seen every movie in the world. I haven't seen the Godfather trilogy, and sometimes I feel like I could see a movie. I do own movies that are deemed as classics, and I could watch right now, and then I can say, oh, I've seen that now. But I think, well, I could do something more productive, and then I just wait, and then the day's over, and I didn't do that productive thing because there you go. But anywho, the only westerns I have seen, to my knowledge, is A Million Ways to Die in the West, which is more of a comedy set in a western type thing, atmosphere, blah 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 blah. And have I seen another western? I've seen, okay, I swear I've seen more than just that when it comes to western movies, but it's not coming to my mind right now. I'm just taking a quick scan around my room to see if any are coming to mind. No, I have not seen Django Unchained as of yet. I would like to, among other Tarantino films. I assure you, I think I definitely see more than one western. But I'm looking around and none is coming to my mind right now. Nope, none coming to mind. I mean, Mad Max set in a desert, like some western films are. But no, I'm not going to count that. But I'm never really. But just I know what a western movie is. Like guns, saloons, however you say it, desert, tumbleweed. Wait, I've seen Back to the Future Part 3. Okay, 2. Yeah, that's a western. That's time travel. It's a western, okay? It's a western sci-fi, which bloody brilliant combination. That's like a bloody horror fantasy. Actually, no, that's a pretty normal thing. There's a lot of horrors set in the world of fantasy. Okay, a horror rom-com. No, wait, that's Warm Bodies. Darn it. I thought I was being creative then. I could have thought of more examples like, well, it could be like this, and like, oh no, wait, can't think of any others. Okay, that's not a good gag. I failed. But you know, I know the feel of a western, and I thought if I assume like I would find them boring. Like maybe one day I'll watch like the John Wayne films. Yeah, that's it. I'm sorry. I apologize if I got that wrong. And Good, Bad, and the Ugly. I just assume it'll just be like, I don't know, 2 hours of like staring and like gun fights and like, you know, just deserts and stuff. Just like aesthetically not very exciting. But that's what I used to think. But as of right now, I haven't seen that many westerns, and not even like the famous ones like Good, Bad, and the Ugly. So. I've seen A Million Ways to Die in the West, but just aesthetically, I never found them to look very exciting. And when I know like TV shows parodied them, I never thought they were very exciting type genre either. But maybe when I get to them one day. But when it comes to this, I thought it was just going to be a western. But then I found out as the movie went on, it wasn't just a western set in the 18 something whatever it was. It was like you know how Sherlock, like in the 18th century, no wait, early 19th century, early 1900s, and you know how that is, but then for Sherlock with Benedict Cumberbatch, it had, you know, like cell phones and stuff. Well, with this, it's in Texas, there's guns, and there's like, you know, like people robbing banks, like, you know, sort of Rango, there you go, 3. Early on, I'm going to be down to like, I don't know, maybe 7 or something. But Rango, totally. Oh yeah, Western. Oh yeah, what westerns have you seen? I've seen Good, Bad, and the Ugly. I've seen John Wayne. Other famous westerns that aren't popping into my mind when I could just stop and Google it. Oh yeah, that. No, I am not. But and then I'm like, oh yeah, I've seen Rango. You mean that Johnny Depp movie with the lizard? Yeah, the one that no one really remembers. The Nick movie. Yeah. Seen that? Maybe someone remembers it. I don't know. Oh gosh, this is tight. Ah, okay. There's nothing there. Sorry, ladies. I go too far. I really go too far. But anyway, on topic. But with this movie, like it's set in modern day. Basically, I mean, like no one just gets out Chris Pine doesn't get out an iPhone or something like that. But I'm glad it doesn't go that far, but it's clearly in modern day Texas. I mean, they have TV and such. But here, I had no idea what it was about. But to say right now, it's basically about like 2 brothers rob a bank, and Jeff Bridges and another Texas officer is, you know, on their trails, like always one step behind them, and that's the premise. It may seem very simple. You may think, oh, I've heard that from somewhere before. But just from the get-go, I was immersed. I was into it. I loved the look. I loved the music. Not like how Suicide Squad uses like, here's a pop song. I mean, I like these pop songs, but, you know, I can see where people were coming from when they said, no, that doesn't really fit. But I like those songs. But here, they use country songs, like you know, songs you would think of when thinking of a cowboy film. And it fits. I love the music, I love the look, and the performances. In my opinion, I think Chris Pines, out of all of them, did a brilliant performance, because when I think of Chris Pines, I've just grew up with him. When it comes to my history with Chris Pines, my history with Chris Pines, oh yes, we spent many summers together. No, watching his movies wise, I've always known it was Captain Kirk. Like, even after, like, oh no, it's Captain Kirk, it's a cowboy. But not an actual cowboy, like, as in, like, with the poncho and cowboy hat. I mean, they have cowboy hats. But anywho, Chris Pines, obviously, I just always known him as Captain Kirk, and I saw him sing in that Into the Woods film. But here, he did a brilliant performance, because, like, because basically, these 2 brothers, Chris Pines is like the good-hearted, like he's doing this, he's robbing these banks for a good reason, he's doing it for a cause. he knows it's horrible, and he even says to his brother, "Okay, don't go too far. Okay, I don't want to hurt anyone." But the brother, he's insane. He's like an aggressive, angry, just he's a horrible human being. Basically, his brother, his brother's a horrible human being. Well, when it comes to Jeff Bridges, I'll get to Jeff Bridges later. And his performance was really, really good, but there's something about Jeff Bridges. I'll get into it later. And he has Indian partner who he always takes the mick out of, all the time. He just always he just makes Indian jokes about him being Indian. Us cowboys, we used to we used to kill you Indians and stuff like that. He makes those type of jokes. He just takes the mick out of them, I could just tell the Indian officers yeah, very funny, and I just love their people may look at this now when I made this comparison before. People look at this it's stereotypes. The good-hearted guy and the angry one and the this Indian stereotype, and people may see them as one-dimensional. I made this comment when I reviewed Sing Street, the rock and roll brother and just the girl who's really into herself, what should I say? I'm gonna be a model, and the kid ends up getting really pretentious, you think you could control the present, but no, I control your future. With something like that. I watched Sing Street again recently. In fact, I bought the DVD. I got the DVD for my birthday, and I put it next to Lady in the Van. Two movies. They have a feel of like an indie flick, and just their look and their feel and everything about it. I love those two films. And next to Frank and the Voices, I was at seriously, just one day, just look for Sing Street, Lady in the Van, Frank and the Voices. For original, Lady in the Van was based off an event that happened, and Frank is based off a singer from in the 80s or 70s or something. But those are four really original films. I think I class Lady in the Van and the Voices as they have, even though one has Ryan Reynolds in them and one has Mrs. McGonagall. Therefore, they seem like independent films. And when I first... Don't worry, this is relevant. And when I looked at this film, obviously, it didn't have the feel or look of, a bloody Marvel film. Whenever I talk about, compare something feeling original and not a big blockbuster, I think of Marvel because Marvel... I love those movies, but... CGI, big A-class star actors, whatever the saying is... It's based off a comic book. They're brilliant. But when you look at... if I looked at this movie, it got Chris Pines and Jeff Bridges, but, it's original. It looks amazing. There's no CGI. It's just with those four films, they have the feel of something original and stuff. So when people say, Hollywood is an original nowadays, look at this. And look at Sing Street and look at Lady in the Van. Yes, they may not be in cinemas for very long as bloody Civil War, but seek them out. But yes, and but with Sing Street, when I reviewed that, I feel bad because that movie, I love that movie. I don't care if any, I remember saying in that review, rambling more such as everything else. Well, it's in all the reviews rambling. I'm an inconsistent one, okay. I'm not setting myself at a very high standard, but hey, there you go. It's on the PlayStation. Bloody, I want this to look professional, but with Sing Street, when I talked about these characters, they aren't that original, kind of one note, but that was the point. That was the point. The father and the parents were just meant to be bickering, and the Cosmo, yeah. He was meant to, end up throughout the film getting more and more pretentious and more just really kind of cocky, you control the present, I control the future. His hair and makeup, and throughout the entire film changing his look, and I loved it. That it was meant to be like that because it was meant to feel like an 80s type film. John Hughes, he created a band to impress this girl. He meant to seem like that. If the characters seem stereotypical or one-dimensional or one note or just have one thing to them, he's meant to be like that. And throughout the film, I find more about Cosmo, he's all quiet, and then like he really wants this girl, and I saw more to that, and like here, so basically I retract that statement from the film, because like I don't know, maybe I'm just trying to be too nitpicky, but I loved the film. I said the film was probably one of the best films I've seen this year. It's probably going to be close to the top if I do make a top 10 by the end of this year, but I don't know what I'm talking about. Sing Street. I watched Sing Street again. I love it so much. I got the bloody soundtrack. But yes, at that point, I find a bit, silly now, because the film, I think it did it on purpose. But here, people say may seem it's stereotypical, but like I didn't really see it like that. Like I don't know, a film I think of with like just stereotypes, or I don't know, one-dimensional characters is probably like I don't know, a Disney Channel flick or something, or just a modern comedy like I don't know, Central Intelligence. Like I keep going back to that, or Get Hard. Like Will Ferrell, like I don't know, he's very obnoxious, and like he's very ignorant and kind of dumb. Or Kevin Hart, like is kind of smart, and he's trying to get at him and teach him a lesson, stuff like that. But like here, oh yeah, Chris Pine's just a good hard one, but no, I just saw more to it, and I love the bond not only between two officers but between these two brothers. And my God, when I think of my favourite movie, The Grand Budapest Hotel, I say like, oh yeah, you could just freeze it at any time and you could just frame it like it's a piece of art. This film, like if I ever did make a film, I could never come up it's taken me a long time, but I can never just get to have a narrative. Like I never think of a narrative. I'm not that creative when it comes to a story or a character or something like that. Maybe I can, I don't know, but I have shots in my head, like really awesome looking shots. This movie is full of just it's like BFG, just moments and shots that just are beautiful to look at. Here, just I don't know, like the sunset, and the room is dimly lit, and the brother's just laying on the couch, and the brother wakes him up, and they're just making eggs. One has his back turned, the other, just at the kitchen, and then the two brothers are I don't know, trying to fight each other in the field. They just play fine, because just not only to make the situation sink in and create the atmosphere and create the mood, because they're about to do something later on that day, and just to delve their brotherhood deeper and deeper, and also they're playing some music that fit as well, and it made it really good to look at. Like, look, oh man, that's sexy to look at right there, but in a cinematic way, not a sexy lady way. You naughty buggers, and with my dodgy finger, this wait, you dirty. But yeah, I like to think I'm good with thinking of words, but sometimes I can't have the words come to my mind, so I'm just trying to get the point across. There's shots and moments not only with help with the music and performances, and it actually has some of them is for the point of making the connection between the brothers much more deeper, and have the situation for them sink in. But it's just really beautiful, amazing things to look at, like the sunset at the desert and stuff and the movie doesn't look bland. It's not just like the desert 100% through the film. They go to a casino and it's inside the light, sometimes dimly lit and highly lit and such. But okay, I'm going to mention this now. Jeff Bridges, to my knowledge, I haven't seen many films with him. Obviously Big Lebowski comes to mind, and when I saw Big Lebowski, I mean, yeah, am I wrong? Right there, my Big Lebowski DVD's right there. Where is it? Yeah. Yes, it does star Jeff Bridges. And when I saw that film, I can't remember Jeff Bridges talking in a specific way. I could easily understand him. He sounded like a normal guy. But nowadays, after the movie ended, a friend of mine who goes to the same cinema quite often as me said, "What do you think?" "Oh yeah, it's very good." But I couldn't understand what Jeff Bridges was saying. I mean, I'm terrible with accents in films. Sometimes, actually many times, it's quite normal for me. When I watch a film on DVD, I put the subtitle. When I can't understand, sometimes even a character who doesn't have an accent, like for 95% of the film, I can understand the fun. But sometimes something that to you may sound like plain English could sound like, I don't know, mumbles to me, and I don't know what they're saying. Could be saying something important. So I rewind it, put subtitles on, like, oh, that's what they were saying, and then when I know what they were saying, I could listen to it again. Like, I could easily know that's what the person is saying. Maybe some on my ears or my brain or something. Oh man, I'm so extraordinary. But that was pretentious. Like I am. But with accents in films, that could be at first like. There was sometimes I'm like, wait, what did he say? And then I think I know, and that could have been something important. Okay, I'm gonna just, okay, I think the person said this, and I look up the plot on Wikipedia afterwards, and it's like, okay, I get it now. Even though this film is complicated, really at all, it isn't like what's a film that's complicated? It's not Inception. Well, people just didn't get that. I mean, some things that could just like contradict each other, but some like I don't know, something to do with the mother. I'm like, wait, was he there when this happened to the mother, or like? But I looked at the Wikipedia after I did that. I needed that when I watched Jupiter Ascending. I'm going a mile a minute here. But yeah, lost track there. Okay, so basically my point is, at the beginning I was like, okay, wait, or did he say something there? It's just the accent, the Texas accent. But for most of it, I got what they were saying. Like. They basically maybe like one piece of dialogue or two, but with Jeff Bridges, I mean, the two brothers' accents, those were the ones like sometimes I didn't know what they were saying, the mumbling. I don't know, is this a common problem? I don't bloody know. But with Jeff Bridges, I understood like 97 of what he was saying, very specific. But when the guy said I didn't know what he was saying, I understand, because then we were just joking around how he talks like his jaw was shut. He's chewing something. Yeah, I can't think of something specific he said, but basically this is what he sounded like. Now, sorry, that probably offended somebody, especially Jeff Bridges. But basically, over back. I don't know. I look even more professional now. Basically, this was a written review. Like, then Jeff Bridges sounded like. But yes. He's a very good actor. I even heard this complaint when I watched a review of the movie he was in, R.I.P.D. with Ryan Reynolds, and yes, apparently it's a common problem. There in Big Lebowski, I can understand it fine, but stuff like that. Maybe something happened. Maybe I'm being really insensitive. But by the way, I'm not going to spoil anything. I'm not spoiling anything at all, because if you do get a chance to see it, I'm going to say this now. It's brilliant. You know, you may not see his original. You may have heard this thing of like, oh yeah, two guys rob a bank and people and they're always one step behind them. Like, yeah, this been like, you've seen this in many films before. You know, the police or like these investigators are always one step behind them, and at the end of the film, they finally have their conflict. They actually meet. The two actual Texas police officers, you know, sent to investigate this, by the way. They get really lucky, like they go into the same restaurant they were in, and like these guys like, oh yeah, we saw that earlier, and this waitress said, oh yeah, they were here, and like they robbed the bank literally over there. Like, they get really lucky at some points, but like, you know, I was really into that. Like I said, like, so what they look like? Oh, they're doing this and this, and like, oh, they're getting close, like, oh, they're gonna go past each other, like they were there where they just were, now they're here. I love that stuff. But here it's immersive, it's brilliantly performed, it's brilliantly shot. My God, the scenery, the music, it all fits perfectly, and it's just really. I think a lot of people will love it, especially westerns, but not hardcore western with the ponchos and bloody like hats, and even though they have hats here, whatever. But you'll really like these characters. Even the one who's a bit of a scumbag, like that brother, and is really, really, really good. But I'm not going to spoil anything. See, if you got a chance, don't just go like, oh, it's not Fast and Furious 28. Oh, I don't know anything about it. Just give it a chance. I gave Sing Street a chance, and I'm glad I got the chance to see it in the cinemas when I did. Now I have it on DVD, and I like that film very much. I got a poster of it right out. The Indian partner to Jeff Bridges, he says he has 3 weeks until retirement. Now, if you've seen many TV shows, if you know a specific joke, like, and he was only away from retirement, yes. If you know that gag and you've seen a few films, you could fill in the blanks. I'm not going to say anything, but when he said it, I was like, okay, is this going to happen? And at some point I was like, okay, yeah, okay, maybe they'll actually, they'll challenge it, they'll do like, they won't actually do it, just to one-up the viewer. Just saying, okay, there you go. But I mean, just look at this, like, I had a great time with it. It was really, it was awesome. It was an awesome film. Just music, shots. Like at first I thought the ending, like, okay, the thing that been this whole film, the actual plot, like is done now. The whole reason, the character's been doing this and these characters been doing this, is done now. And I thought it was going on, and I thought it was going to be a bit unnecessary, but I think it added a lot. I loved that bit towards the end, like right at the end, with Jeff Bridges and Chris Pine. Those are the only 2 actors in this movie who I know the names of. But yeah, I don't really know where else to go from here. Basically, I love the music used. I can't say enough. Just the look, the shots, the scenery. I thought deserts, westerns they always look dull. Just the look of them, but here, just the concept of the desert and like the sand and the trucks, and looks really good to look at. But poster over my wall, and like replace a poster of a naked lady, I don't bloody know. But moving on, the performances were brilliant, excellent. I thought Chris Pine did an amazing job. He really blew me away. Jeff Bridges, even though is the way he talks, he still did a really good performance. People may see, like, the dialogue was really good, really well written. Will Wheaton. And people may see, like, generic one-note characters or something. Like, you may not, be into it. You may not be immersed by it, but there's moments here, like that part when the 2 brothers are play fighting in the field. That I really love that moment. So yes, it may seem like a cliche plot when you get into it, but like I found it immersive, brilliant, awesome, and surprisingly really original. And I had a good time with it. I got into it really easily. Like the pace it seems quite quick, and also like there's a particular moment with this old lady in the diner which had a bunch of new audience laughing. It was quite funny. But yeah, I think that's about it. I'm just scanning through the entire movie in my head. I just realised I was talking about Sing Street, and that right at the end it talks about like this is all 4 brothers, and this movie is about brothers, except like kind of, but still friendship between the officers and like brothers and these 2, which are really good. But yeah, like connection there. I mean, I'm not sure if it's going to make you cry, but you get into it, and I like it. Okay, I liked it. Good characters, except for the a-hole brother. You may hate him. He's not a very nice person. So yeah, look, music, performance, writing, cinematography. Even I guess that counts as shots. Brilliantly executed moments. Say every single fancy word possible to make you sound like a bloody professional here. And that's about it. And it's really good pace. I don't believe it feels slow at any point, I wouldn't say. And some people say it may goes on too long in the end, but I really like that moment. And yeah, there you go. So see if you have the chance. And just for Jeff Bridges' brilliant mustache. I mean, look at that. Maybe I could. Maybe. There you go. There you go. Brilliant. There you go. Why do I even try? This has been Deano. I messed it up. Oh wait, Sometimes I rate it out of 10. 9. I thought it was really good. I honestly, maybe I'm just an idiot. Up to debate, but honestly, didn't think all that. I can't nitpick really much, and if I do, I'll probably just slot it in right after. I'll just sit there for about 3 minutes going, oh, that's something I'm going to mention that. But there you go, and almost 30 minutes, bang on the dot. So this is I haven't done it in a while. Okay. This has been Deano Reviews, and I'm just another screen watcher like you. There you go. Go see it if you can. Oh, and as well as the ending, quick shout out to the actual opening of the film. Like, also, it gets you right into it. It's quite, nothing shocking, but it just introduces you into what you're getting into, and also really good.